my old brother, he's a bit into this stuff as well, and he kind of explains about how North Pole, it's all like gated up and everything. You cannot access it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's only guided towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's about time too. Shameful.
That's an unbelievable amount.
Amount of what?
Trash.
Trash.
Under here.
Yeah, well, it's just a sump. It catches water and dirt and trash. And would you believe there's actually a window frame in there? Why do you think someone would put a window down there where all the water's going to run in, Zizi?
Why?
It's no good reason. It's because this building was mud flooded. And the ground used to be at least 8 foot lower than it is now. So that would have been a window, just like this one is here. It would have been a window.
It's kind of deep.
Like this.
So when it says
I wonder if they were added.
mud flood,
One
do you
seems
mean
around
mud was there?
Yeah, do I mean mud?
When mud flood?
Yeah, you know, mud flood, yeah.
Mud?
Yeah, mud flood.
Mud? So we can't, this ground couldn't have come from nowhere.
No, it had to have come from the sky or from the, like some kind of deluge.
It can't could have come from the sky.
No?
Because
Only rain can come from the sky?
yeah.
Well, sometimes dust can be picked up from the desert and blown into the sky, and then it rains thousands of miles away from the desert.
You know,
Sand.
how is it fitting in so correctly like this?
Well, they use slabs, so they can join them together perfectly.
Yeah, so this couldn't have come from nowhere.
I think
I
that
don't think it was from the sky either.
you don't. Oh, that's a fair assumption. I think that the ether, which is all around us and is the sky, can turn to anything, can become anything. Metal, fire.
How?
Well, just by adding certain... How do you turn this air into fire? Well, you got to add heat and fuel.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think anybody did that either.
You don't think anyone did that either? No, but it would be like a god level thing. What?
Well, I have actually a theory that the mud made this.
The mud made this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, the mud.
Okay, that's an interesting theory. And then when the mud came from somewhere or was created somehow.
It was probably from the mud flood.
Probably from the mud flood, yeah. So when the water comes on the stream, it brings a whole lot of sand with it and it leaves it behind when the water goes away, right? You've seen that.
You see, this must have come from mud.
Well, these cement blocks are made by man. They mix sand
But
and...
something must be made from mud that made some of this.
Well, what happens if you compress mud and you dry it out? It becomes like a stone, yeah?
Yeah.
So eventually mud can become stone.
Must have used it
Yeah.
to make this. So it must have come from the mud flood. So
Yeah.
it must be
Look here.
from
Yeah.
the mud flood.
Must be from the mud flood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be.
What's this?
What is that? What in the world is that?
That's your spine.
Yeah.
And that's your hips and your leg joint, your femur down the bottom there, the big leg bone. It's not all the way down, obviously, but these are the vertebrae of your spine. 33 of them that aren't fused. The bottom 5 are fused. That's called your coccyx. And if you look at the coccyx from this side, that looks like an elephant. If you look at it from here, that looks like an elephant. And then when you zoom in close, it looks like a bat. On the center there. You can see the elephant ears.
This.
Yeah. Let's go. We are in the dead center of Shepton Mallet.
No,
This is,
we have definitely.
looks like some antiquitect that never went on the roof or came off a roof.
We have definitely been here for
We've-
before.
We've definitely been here before.
Yeah.
Okay. As you can see, these places all have evidence of mud flood flooring or off on the slope, not leveled off. And this
Yep. this.
quite a bandstand. Is it a font?
What?
Centre of a marketplace, but that would be latterly, surely. Yeah, what do I mean? Hmm? In a previous life. What do I mean about that? Well, there's this theory that we've lived before. We had a previous body, and we had experiences maybe 50 years or 100 years ago, or even more. And then we've come back, and we forget about those lives, and we have to learn stuff all over again.
I remember this.
But you remember coming to this?
I remember this.
Okay. You have seen a lot of these types of structures, to be fair. This all looks fairly modern on the outside.
I remember this.
Okay.
I remember.
See sort of in Indian type structures in India. That
Yeah, I remember this, Dad.
you do. And it's cast, not carved. I'm pretty sure. Cast. Anyway, so this is,
I definitely remember this.
and this library,
This is
which
definitely
is rather
I definitely
incongruous.
remember this.
Doesn't quite fit.
There must be a really big Polish community. There's the one there,
Okay.
the shop there, and there's another one over there.
Well, that would be post mud flood, darling. But this will be clad building as well, I suspect. New floor level.
This is gonna be a little magic trick.
Come on then, let's just stroll down here a little.
This is gonna be a magic trick.
Oh, what are you going to show me?
Behind.
Yeah? Whoa. Whoa, what happened to your thumb? Oh, it's still there. That was a real trick. You shocked me for a moment. I was...
A magic trick.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, you dip right down here. And then into that valley up ahead. Loads of shops closed. Hey, they got the flute. Oh. Quick peek up there. Yeah.
Nothing really else down there anyway.
Quick little look. It is rather chilly. As you can see, like quite a deep loss of height down here, and then all of a sudden back on this level towards this church. Charge. Do you like that one? Not a church, it's a charge. Church. Oh, call it church. It's a small door for the front window. That doesn't quite add up. Let's have a quick butcher's hook, shall we? So would this be fake cladding here to give you a sense? Yeah, immediately looks a little bit iffy. Although this will be an add-on. This will be a more recent add-on to the building. So that's the original tower. And then this is credited to Lord Spinklespine, who in 1812 managed to overture this. Yeah, it's not really as... The whole of this seems to be clad, or it's a later addition, full of pews. And then we're lower here. You notice the bank is up above the floor level, which makes no sense. So we got a little gangway to go across the moat. No, there's no way. They wouldn't bother doing this downstairs. There'd be no point in building downstairs. That would be just manky. Hard to keep dry. Just such a mess. The door's a little open. Let's have a quick peek, shall we? See that? Now we're going below the crypt, as it were. Honey, if you had to walk away in the distance, I'd tell you your feet would disappear first. But try and tell a glober that's just perspective and angular resolution, and they will throw a hissy fit. Oh, you see how wet it is? It smells. This bit is closed off. Oh. It smells like gas in here. I won't stay, just in case my phone causes it to pop, but there's a big tunnel going underneath there. Do you remember the tunnel? What is that? I bet you know what that is. Yeah, that's a bit gassy down there. But there's a tunnel down there. It reminds me of what they were telling us in Letton Hall about all the tunneling and works underneath. And how does it stack up with? We simply lost at the lower floor. What was down there? This is this is quite. As you can see, this is quite low. Not that low, but again, it would be. Oh, slippery too. It would be hazardous. I think this is more original. That window frame looks pretty knackered. And they haven't bothered with a skirt there. Hello! But they got skirt here. Not there. Gave up on it. It's a little slippery down there, but you can check it out if you want to. So yeah, it's like they built something new on top of the exposed foundation that was below. Possibly. Just one theory. Yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole of below ground activity here. And yeah, the skirt has fallen off there. You can see that's exposed where they glued it on before, and it's just come off again to make it look like this was the intended original ground level. This skirt here would have been over there where it's easiest. You okay, Luke? Sounded like someone slipped there. It is a little bit slippery, and again, just a design oversight if you intended this. But of course, the people who were building onto this were pretty smart, but the people who built the original, perhaps smarter. Yeah, don't suppose we can get in. Yeah. So you can tell that this is going down a meter from. So they've dug this back out, and you can see. Yeah. You can see the archway over that door there. It didn't look like this originally. There's more of them over there. So that would have been dug back out. Perhaps there was still another floor beneath it. And there's one of those tiny doors. That's to escape the clergy if they get rambunctious. Or maybe this is the side door that the preacher can slip in. But again, it's up some stairs, and they've literally had to plaster it together. I've seen that keying before. It's a good technique, but doesn't. I suppose it's the 1850s, 1880s period that was done. Yeah, just, would you really have done that? What did you find? What did you find?
Found something here.
Show me.
Some old things.
Some old things?
Somewhere.
Harvesting electricity.
Somewhere.
Or doing something with it, I don't know.
Over here, baby.
It's around the other side of this nave.
Interested in this drain.
Yeah.
Look at how old that is.
Well, yeah, I don't think that's original to the building, sweetheart. I think that's after the mud flood.
How
They had to,
old is that?
I would say 100 years.
That's what I said.
But there's one that.
150.
Is over there.
That one over there? Sure, that's brutal. Yeah, that'll do for now. Whatever they tell you, folks, mainstream history is complete toilet.
That collapses into something called gravity, and atoms are fused together, and that's what
Can I give you my theory, honestly? Can I throw it at you?
What?
So think about, on a flat earth, a circus tent, yeah? Like a witch's hat.
Yep.
And then all the light, because, in quantum they'll tell you that there is so much energy rising through your feet all the time. And I think that energy is rising, materializing, and then continuing up to the witch's hat. And there where it goes through the witch's hat is a point, like when you take a magnifying glass and create a point of light. I think there is a point. And it's that point that is what we perceive as the moment that is the sun. That's my theory on it.
So, and the stars are separate.
The stars are separate. The wandering stars, which are the main stars, and those are ones you can see with the cymatic pattern. If you look at them under a powerful telescope, you'll see they're just doing this repeating pattern. It's just like a light.
Flickering.
Flickering, but if you look at it...
That's because they're like either meteorites or planets passing them.
Well, that's a theory that we're offered. There's another one, is that if you look into cymatics and how sound creates vibration on a salt plate, or with salt plate, Yeah, you get those same sort of cosmic designs or flower or light patterns starting to form there as we see in the Mars and these things. So we think there are actually, I think there are points of light. If you looked at the star in a jar experiment, which is mainstream, they fire a frequency into water and they can get it to erupt into a star through cavitation. And so through that, I think that we're having this energy experience from up there, and that's what the stars are. The twinkling stars, the ones that are in the main zodiacal signs, they've been there for thousands of years in the same position. You know, parallax would demand that they're not in the same position because they're not on the same, apparently not on the same trajectory and not at the same distance.
You don't think stars die?
Stars may die. I accept that stars may die, but that doesn't mean that it's a fire that's gone out. It doesn't mean that frequency got switched off. Hey guys.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just interested in what your thing's about.
Okay, I'd say that we are the center of creation, that you are God, having experience, but that experience has been robbed. We've been turned into monkeys that evolved from slime. That's why they gave us a globe, to make us insignificant and hide the fact that we are the center of creation. This is real, guys. Check it out, take a picture, put it on your social media, laugh as much as you like.
No, I'm just curious.
I'm just taking it.
I've never heard it before.
I want to spread wide and far. Test it.
No, I respect your beliefs.
If you can point to me the direction we're spinning right now, no one can, unless you think about which way is the sun moving, and it's the sun that's moving.
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely, like, when it comes to, like, astronomical kind of scale, like, it is tough to sometimes comprehend, innit?
Yeah, but on the ground, we're moving at 1,000 miles an hour. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, but you can't feel it.
But you don't believe that? Is that what you're saying?
I can't believe it because I can't test it. If you could test it, then bring it to me. I'd be like, ace.
Yeah. So what's the like fundamental belief? What's your
our fundamental ball cracker? Water is always level.
Okay.
Water at any body of water will rest level. And so if you've got a lake top of the mountain, that lake is settled level, and the next lake down is level and parallel to the one before, parallel to the next one, and then parallel to the horizontal ocean. And that we have one sea level on Earth. And if you travel on any topographical map, you'll go up to the high point on one coast and on to the other coast, back down again the same amount. So the sea has to be the same level on Earth. Ships will not sail uphill. Planes will not be flying up and down and around a spinning globe. If the globe was spinning 1,000 miles an hour, planes don't even fly fast enough to catch up with it.
So your core theory is that the Earth is flat?
No. For me, that's the simple part, that the Earth is flat. Beyond that, you've got to walk through the flat Earth doorway. Because imagine you've been playing your chess on a ball all your life. Or you've been playing basketball on a court that wasn't flat, but it was a ball. Now I say, no, you're meant to play on a flat.
Yeah.
Then you have to learn the game all over again.
Yeah.
On a flat board. Well, that's all I've done is I've introduced you to a flat board world
concept.
and say now think about who you are and what's going on in the world based on that possibility. That shit. The ancients might have been right. The Old Testament says it's not moving. Blah blah blah. You know, I was one of those kids who said to the preacher, "Yeah, man, the Bible's a flat Earth book, man. You know, it's all flat Earth."
I've always wanted to actually ask someone with that kind of core belief. Why do you think?
Carry on.
A big corporation like NASA and those who have informed us about the Earth being spherical, why do you think they would have done that?
Okay, so
because
for me,
pandemic, when a lot of people naturally kind of denied it and thought there's something else going on here. The thing for me that like someone close to me raised and made me realise was it'd take a lot of people to lie, be in on this lie, or this different alternative to the truth, for that to get out to the mainstream.
Okay, or what if I took the brightest minds in school and taught them this is what germs do. This is what you have to do when germs turn up. And this is what we'll give them. And this is actually the best chemical for that solution. Yeah? Those kids are all of them looking to get an A in class and get a really high-paying job at
So you're talking about indoctrination.
Yeah.
But then my question is like, no, absolutely. But then my question is why? Like, what's the point?
Okay. Now that's a bigger question.
Yeah,
so first of all, let's say
what difference does it make?
let's say we have been indoctrinated, because actually you can go to any country in the world and you'll find a different version of indoctrination on different subjects. I was just in South Africa. The black people in South Africa, they don't like the Zimbabweans. Black Zimbabweans and the black Malawians. Why? Because they're taking their jobs and they think so racism exists all over, but there's all sorts of different reasons why people can be brainwashed. Like in South Africa, the apartheid thing that I was brainwashed by, right? So but why? Why would they do it? So let's just say there is a creator, if you would allow me that. There's a creator. And that creator had an idea to express itself as you.
Okay.
But along the way, a few thousand years ago, a few hundred years ago, some other dude came here and he's just a bad guy. Some call him the devil or Satan or whatever. This is like a bad entity or force decides that it wants to, there's a lot, millions or not billions of people. And it doesn't like that there's so many billions of them all wanting to go around, do their own thing, take their birth weight in gold, which is what you're meant to be entitled to, your own weight in gold at birth. They don't want you doing that. They want to make sure they'll do your roads for you and they'll kind of take care of everything for you. But in return, you're going to work for them. You're going to pay the taxes, pay the interest on your mortgage, do all of these things that they tell you to do, and basically be a 40-year work slave, job slave. Really. That's really what people are born for now. Is you're going to, and then why Malawians and Zimbabweans are not popular in South Africa is because the poor Malawians are so poor, and the things are so expensive in their country. They're forced to go outside of their country to find work, leave their families behind and so on. So this whole game of putting us in a prison and then pitting us against one another for color or for borders or for religion or whatever, this whole game is part of this deception of you also live on a globe, dinosaurs, you could be wiped out, you're not important, you're not special, you have one life and so on. Whereas the truth is that you never die. You are an eternal being currently expressing yourself in this 90-year or 100-year form. Hopefully you get that length of time.
I see what you mean.
And so for me, I was an atheist who didn't believe in any shit, and I couldn't wait for them to find life on the moon or Mars. I was just looking forward to that very, very much. And I just wanted to put it to the religious people and go, look, it's not, you know what I mean? That's not what you said. You know what I'm saying? There's life outside and all that. I was that. 47, I was that. And so I've had to, in 7 years since I found this, I've had to recalibrate everything onto a flat playing field now. And now what does that mean? A lot of my pals in the flat earth, and they're still carrying on life pretty much like it was before, and that's your choice. But for me, I realized there was something spiritual, you know, after being against religion, there was something really spiritual, and that Jesus and Muhammad and these people were trying to say something important about who we are. And they may have died for trying to tell their truth, by the way. They may have given their life for trying to, but that's the world we live in, is that, you know, if you say shit that people don't want to hear, they might stone you to death because they're like, no, we don't want that. So the scientists get angry because they're like, yeah, man, our science says that theory of relativity plus the theory of gravity and then the theory of evolution, if you put those three together, and if this and a few million more years, then yeah, you can have that. You could be you.
You know, if I can also jump in, can you elaborate about a person called Admiral Byrd with regard to the flat earth or whatnot?
So Admiral Byrd became famous in the 1920s because he did a lot of exploration into the North Pole.
This is really interesting.
Yeah, he did a lot of exploration into the North Pole. He's claimed to have found an inner Earth or some inner Earth there, but I don't go too far down there. But for the next 30 years, during the World War II and after, he had a battle group or a carrier group, like a full fleet with an aircraft carrier and a whole lot, fully supported by the American military. And he was down there 20, 30 years doing exploration. And he would go as far as he could. He would take like fuel bunkers on a plane. He'd take fuel bunkers, fly 1,500 miles, drop fuel, come back, go further, and he couldn't get to the end of anything. He said in a CBS News interview in 56, I think, he goes on TV and says, I found land after the pole bigger than North America. I found resources there that will keep humanity going for eons.
And they call that Agartha or something.
Sorry?
They call that Agartha.
Agartha, yeah, well, I mean, it could be. One of the flat Earth theories is they're simply hiding more land.
Yeah.
There's more land because on a flat Earth, there could be more land. There could be even on a globe. You know, the Pacific is so big, you don't know what's in there, and ships don't really go in certain places, and blah blah blah. But we think that there might be more land, and it could be beyond Antarctica.
And what do you think about my old brother? He's a bit into this stuff as well, and he kind of explains about how North Pole, it's all like gated up and everything. You cannot access it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's only guided towards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to go freely one, you're not able to. The theory behind that is saying they're trying to hide something which is bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then they get the billionaires to continue the hoax by getting them to fly into space, so-called space, and continue the lie. But I think they're into the club. By the time they're that deep into the club, they have to go along with it. But let me finish you on Admiral Byrd.
Yeah.
So Admiral Byrd, okay, he died a year after going on TV and saying this. I'm not saying that was suspicious. Just interesting. But the year after he said that, they signed the Antarctic Treaty. And it's the longest standing unbroken treaty in all of humankind. It's never been broken. Russia and America have been at war with each other. We know there's resources down there, but BP, Shell, all these Chevrolet, all the American oil companies, they're not down there going, listen, there's stuff here, man. There's coal here. He said that. There's oil here. Why aren't we... Oh, the penguins, we're worried about... No, there's something else they're hiding. Even the British explorer Ranulph Fiennes, I went on the ship that was taking him to do this cross one peninsula during the winter time, and his crew said to me it took him 5 years to get permission. Ranulph Fiennes is Sir Ranulph Fiennes. He's knighted by the Queen, and yet he has to ask permission to go down for a little trip across Antarctica. 5 years it took to get permission.
That's quite hefty.
So any of the tours that you go on are really expensive, and they'll take you on a patch the size of Hyde Park, or maybe even the size of London, and walk you around all day till you're exhausted. You go, yeah, we saw the North Pole, really? Like you saw Hyde Park, you think you saw London or England because you saw London? No. So it's very easy to hoax that, and we are talking about tiny human beings who, once you're on your feet, man, in frozen places and whatnot, we ain't just walking around. There's no resources out there. And it's like the Truman Show. It's always like they created a saline sea so that we couldn't survive out there almost. But so we don't know what's at the extremities of this world, but we have to be honest and say there's a lot we don't know. But what we can say is that water is always going to come out level. Even if you take your water bottle at one angle and I take my water bottle at the other angle, those two bodies of water will be parallel to each other. And as you come down the mountain, each lake is parallel until you get horizontal and parallel are kind of, for me anyway, the same thing. I know you can have parallel lines that are perpendicular and so on, but once you're coming down the lake, those are all horizontal parallel to the horizon. And so it's like, when is it curving? We can't measure that, and we can take a high-powered camera and watch a ship go away with our eyes and then zoom it back in with a high-powered camera and go, shit, I thought that all went over the curve. No, there it is again. And you can watch it for another half hour if your camera's powerful enough. So there's plenty of things that they say your ocean is curvature, or your apparent horizon is 4 miles, but guys have got oil rigs from the beach at 20 miles, or 15 miles. It's like, no. That whole oil rig should be underwater by now. Now, guys, there's a lot to... Here's my thing on electromagnetic...
What, are you on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
What's your channel? Is this...
Trinity 4, I've got to start again. I lost my YouTube channel last year because of COVID. You like a fly, bro?
You've heard of ODD?
Yeah, he was... because he was a... Cheers, guys. Good luck, eh? All the best. There you go. He was one of the big names early on. You know? Doesn't look good like now, but...
Yeah, he's not putting much anymore, is it? Why is that? Why is that?
I guess he realized, it's a bit like me, there's only so much you can put into this before it's like, I'm tired of arguing with people about the same shit. And being, sometimes even this guy, Eric DeBay. He called me a shill.
He called you?
He put a video up, like a hit piece video on me.
Oh, is it? I've seen a couple things from him. I know he's got a big name, isn't he?
He's got a big following, but they never, for me, they don't go to the electromagnetic stuff. They hold everybody in, argue about the flat earth and the falling off the edge and stuff. Whereas I say, no, it's much more than that. Flat earth is just the gateway. It's just the beginning. If you can't get through flat earth, you don't have a chance. But if you can, then you've got to keep marching, because there's a lot more exciting stuff to find about who you are and what this world is. And it's not to be angry with it. It's not to be upset like these guys and so on. They're pissed off with it. It's to realize that there's a game being played against you. And if you're smart enough, like you take your children to see Punch and Judy or a magician show, you know how the trick is being done, but you let them enjoy like a trio,
Say it was Christmas or something,
exactly.
Or Santa or whatever.
Exactly.
This Eric debate, wasn't he supposed to have like a debate with Neil deGrasse Tyson or something?
Yeah.
And he originally he wanted to do that first. You see with Neil, I'm assuming the people he was talking to didn't allow it to do with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's too much too close to the bone.
But
he's too high profile to go.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they have Professor Dave, kind of that level, but not.
But no, it's interesting. I'm not really into these stuff a lot, but my older brother he is. Every time he talks to me about it, and he's showing me all these videos, all these like articles and whatnot, it just makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Well, show him my channel. My website is there.
This one here,
You can link it to my YouTube channel on here.
Yeah, we'll do.
And someone's video will eventually find
Good to meet you.
channel.
I'll see you around. All right.
Good luck. Cheers, brother. I think I need to wrap up for the day. I'm tired. Oh, Star Wars. It's going hard. Can I do one?
Don't be a chicken. I'll be in Glastonbury tomorrow. If you're in the area, come and say hello.